Welcome to Breakthrough Points. In this series, we don't read dead books. We only talk about spiritual gems that can instantly smash your cognitive barriers and flip your life state. I am your companion. Today, we are going to talk about a psychological knot that many of us carry, the shadow of our original environment. Have you ever complained about where you grew up? Perhaps you were raised in a noisy, crowded city, witnessing cold-hearted reality and mundane struggles from a young age, making you long for the peace of a remote paradise. Or maybe you were raised in an isolated, impoverished village, facing a lack of information and resources, making you desperately crave the glamour of the metropolis. We often think, if only I had a different upbringing, would my life be more perfect, more pure? If you are currently feeling inferior or limited by your background, then today's insight from spiritual master F.B. Meyer in Paul, a servant of Jesus Christ, will completely reshape your perspective. Let's compare two entirely different spiritual geographical imprints. First, look at Jesus. Jesus grew up in the rural highlands of Galilee. His childhood window opened to lilies on the hillside, birds in the sky, and farmers sowing seeds. So when Jesus taught, his parables were naturally drawn from nature: mustard seeds, grapevines, and lost sheep. That vitality was fresh and pastoral, carrying the scent of the earth. But today's protagonist, Paul, was completely different. Paul grew up in Tarsus. This was no quiet sanctuary, but a bustling international trade hub, a clamorous city filled with scholars, merchants, and sailors. Paul's childhood window did not open to lilies. Instead, he saw mountains of cargo on the docks, soldiers drilling in barracks, athletes sweating in the arena, and the haggling of global languages in the marketplace. Meyer presents a sharp insight in his book. God did not ask Paul to imitate the pastoral style of Jesus. Instead, he utilized the urban grit of Tarsus to mold Paul into a versatile expert who could understand all faces of human life. Did you notice? Paul's letters rarely mention birds or flowers. His favorite metaphors are legal terms: a soldier's armor, races in an arena, and the foundations of buildings. These were the very breath of the city streets he inhaled since childhood. This gives us a massive breakthrough. Your environment, whether it's bustling or barren, is not an obstacle to your growth. It is your future metaphor library and your voice of authority. If your environment sharpened your keen sense of finances, transform it. If your environment tempered your empathy for suffering, use it. God does not only speak in the quiet mountains, he looks for his apostles in the clamor of Tarsus as well. Now, let's use these 5 life tests to re-examine your spiritual geographical imprint. Test 1. Are you rejecting your origin DNA? If you grew up in the city but envy rural purity, or if you grew up at the grassroots but envy elite elegance, you might be wasting your home field advantage. Paul never tried to act like a countryman. He used his mastery of urban logic to conquer the Roman Empire. Test 2. Do you have the translation ability to talk to different social classes? Paul saw merchants from all over the world in Tarsus, so he could debate intellectuals and comfort jailers alike. What unique social common sense has your environment given you? That is something others cannot simply learn. Test 3. Do you view secular tempering as a spiritual loss? Paul grew up with the roar of weaving looms and learned a rough trade. This allowed him to be self-sufficient and independent of anyone's control later on. Are those seemingly low-end survival skills actually the lifeboats for your future independent life? Test 4. Are you looking for your own language system? Jesus spoke with sheep. Paul spoke with the law. You don't need to imitate someone else's expression. What language has your specific life experience given you? Test 5. Do you believe your environment is a preset curriculum? Meyer points out that everything Paul saw in Tarsus was preparing him for his future service in Athens and Rome. Is your current situation also collecting material for a critical moment 10 years from now? Meyer wrote a touching sentence. Paul's life is like a great oratorio, where all the resources of expression are used to convey the profound turns of the Creator's thought. This means that even the parts of your childhood background that you find dark or noisy are indispensable bass notes in this oratorio. So, how do we accept and transform our environment? Here are 3 specific suggestions. 1. Stop fantasizing about a perfect environment. There is no perfect environment, only experiences that are well used. Stop thinking, if only I were born in such and such a family, and start asking, what survival wisdom has this environment taught me that others don't understand? 2. Dig for the unique metaphors in your surroundings. Like Paul, try to extract wisdom from your profession, your streets, and your daily chores. If you are a coder, find inspiration in logic. If you are in sales, find insight in human nature. These familiar things are your most powerful weapons. 3. Transform your urban imprint into a tool for value. Because Paul understood Tarsus, he won over Rome. Think about this. How can your understanding of modern society and your insight into urban pain points become your unique entry point for helping others and delivering value? Friend, looking back across half a century from a prison in Rome, Paul looked at the streets of Tarsus and no longer saw them as a prison, but as a sacred preparation. You don't need to find a non-existent paradise. God has already placed you in the soil best suited for your growth. Whether it is prosperous or desolate, as long as you connect with the Almighty, every street you are on can become a highway to your destination. If you want to understand how a boy from Tarsus transformed into an apostle with a global vision, I highly recommend reading F.B. Meyer's Paul, a Servant of Jesus Christ. You will find that every geographical imprint in your life has a deep meaning. We have prepared a highlight summary for you. The link is below. Thank you for watching Breakthrough Points. Stop complaining that there are no stars outside your window. In the clamor of Tarsus, the glory of God can still be seen. Subscribe to us and start your life upgrade journey. See you next time.